Welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll cover Grade 9, Chapter 5, the title being 5 of Jeff Bezos' Best Lessons for Success from his 27 years as Amazon CEO. We'll go through the solved book exercises from pages 64 to 73. Let's dive in and learn the secrets behind Bezos' incredible journey and master the exercises together. Now let's move on to the exercise on page 66. In this activity, we'll choose the correct compound preposition for each sentence. Your options are against, round, behind, upon, over, below, through, beside, across, between, underneath, onto, within, to, among, and beneath. Get ready. Let's see how well you know your prepositions. Let's check the answers to our compound prepositions exercise. 1. The cat jumped onto the table. 2. I'm going to the park with my friends. 3. The keys are hidden beneath the flower pot. 4. The cookies are inside the jar. 5. The restaurant is across the street. 6. The pen is beside the notebook. 7. She walked along the high to reach the playground. 8. The bookshelf is against the wall. 9. The ball rolled down the stairs. 10. They sat around the fire to keep warm. 11. I can see the moon through the clouds. 12. The dog ran across the street to chase the squirrel. 13. She placed the vase upon the shelf. 14. The car swerved through the crowd of people. 15. The bird built its nest within the tree branches. Great job. Keep practicing, and these prepositions will soon come naturally to you. Next, let's move to the next activity in which we will work on the exercise where we combine the sentences using prepositional phrases. This will help us make our writing smoother and more detailed. Get ready to join the ideas in each pair of sentences with a correct prepositional phrase. Now let's do an interesting grammar exercise. We'll learn how to combine sentences using prepositional phrases. 1. The dog barked. The postman arrived. The dog barked at the arrival of the postman. 2. Jenny laughed. Her brother told a joke. Jenny laughed at the joke told by her brother. 3. We bought ice cream. We went to the beach. We bought ice cream on the way to the beach, for she went to the store. She bought some groceries. She went to the store in the afternoon and bought some groceries for dinner. 5. He studied all night. He passed the exam. He studied all night in his room and passed the exam with flying colors. 6. They went to the beach. They played volleyball. They went to the beach on a sunny afternoon and played volleyball on the sand. 7. I woke up late. I missed the bus. I woke up late in the morning and missed the bus by just a few minutes. Now try making your own sentences using prepositional phrases. Let's look at a few more examples of how to combine simple sentences using prepositional phrases. 8. They went to the park. They had a picnic. They went to the park with their family and had a picnic under a large tree. 9. He went to the gym. He lifted weights. He went to the gym after work and lifted weights in the strength training area. 10. She went to the library. She borrowed books. She went to the library in the evening and borrowed some books for her research. 11. They went to the restaurant. They ordered pizza. They went to the restaurant for dinner and ordered pizza with extra toppings. 12. I went to the doctor. I got a checkup. I went to the doctor in the afternoon and got a checkup for my yearly physical. 13. They went to the concert. They enjoyed the music at the concert. As you can see, these small changes add clarity and depth to your sentences. Try using prepositional phrases in your own writing. They make a big difference. Tools. Now it's time for exercise 3. Let's learn how to spot prepositional phrases in a sentence. In each sentence, you'll circle the prepositional phrase or compound preposition. Let's go through the examples. 1. The birds flew over the mountains. Prepositional phrase, over the mountains. 2. The dog ran after the ball. Prepositional phrase, ball. 3. The flowers bloomed between the trees. Prepositional phrase, between the trees. Did you spot all of them? Good job. Prepositional phrases are easy to find once you know what to look for. Let's keep going. You're doing great. Now let's move on to exercise 4. In this task, you'll create 10 of your own sentences using the given compound prepositions and prepositional phrases. Now it's your turn. Try to write 10 creative and correct sentences using both compound prepositions and prepositional phrases. Take your time. This exercise will really improve your sentence building skill. Let's now go over the answers for exercise 4. Here are 10 sentences that correctly use compound prepositions and prepositional phrases. 1. In front of the school, there is a beautiful garden full of roses. 2. The library is next to the science lab. 3. We waited in spite of the heavy rain, for the cat is hiding underneath the table. 5. On account of the weather, the match was postponed. 6. The students stood by means of a rope to form a straight line. 7. In accordance with the rules, everyone must wear a uniform. 8. Instead of going to the park, we stayed home and read books. 9. In addition to English, she speaks French and Spanish fluently. 10. With reference to your request, we have attached the required docs. All these sentences clearly show how compound prepositions and prepositional phrases work to give extra meaning, detail, or clarity. Now try creating your own set of sentences using different prepositions. Practice makes perfect. Let's now look at an example where we explore how changing a compound preposition can affect the meaning or atmosphere of a scene. Original sentence from the story: the boy hid behind the tree when he saw the dog. Now let's rewrite it using a different compound preposition. Rewritten sentence: the boy hid under the bridge when he saw the dog. Explanation of the change: when the boy hides behind the tree, the setting feels more natural and safe, like he's nearby but just out of sight. But when he hides under the bridge, the atmosphere changes. It suddenly feels darker or even a little scary. It gives the impression of a lonely or possibly unsafe place. This small change in preposition shifts the mood of the scene from calm and hidden to tense, serious. So, by carefully choosing your prepositions, you can add deeper meaning to your writing. Now we're moving on to page 68, where we will focus on conjunctions and transitional devices. First, you'll read the paragraph carefully to observe how ideas are connected. Then, your task is to identify all the transitional devices used in the paragraph. Once you've grouped the transitions, explain how each one helps the paragraph make more sense. Let's get started. Here are the transitional devices found in the paragraph, along with their categories. 1. On one hand, this shows contrast, helping us see one side of an argument or situation. 2. However, another contrast device that introduces an opposite or different idea. 3. Despite, also used for contrast, showing that something happened though there was a challenge or opposite condition. 4. By, this indicates the method or means by which something is done. It explains how something happens. 5. Ultimately, this shows a consequence or result, usually leading to a final conclusion or outcome. 6. And, this is a simple device of addition, used to join to similar ideas or actions. Transitional devices make writing clearer and more organized. Keep practicing to recognize and use these in your own writing. Now let's look at how each device contributes to the coherence of paragraph. 1. On one hand, introduces the positive aspects of change like excitement, new friends, and new experiences. It prepares the reader for a comparison by clearly showing we are discussing one side of the situation. 2. However, creates a contrast by introducing the challenges that come with excitement, like more responsibilities and academic pressure. 3. Despite, continues that contrast by showing that even with the challenges, students still grow. It adds depth by reminding us that difficulties don't cancel out positive opportunities. 4. By, tells us how to handle those challenges by staying organized, managing time, asking for help. This gives the paragraph a sense of direction and offers practical advice. 5. Ultimately brings everything together. It shows the final result of going through all changes. Students become more independent and successful. It wraps up the paragraph nicely. Let's move on to the next slide. Here is the rewritten paragraph using different transitional devices. While keeping the meaning the same, transitioning from middle school to high school can be both exciting and nerve-wracking. Even though there's the thrill of new experiences, meeting new friends, and exploring a wider range of subjects, students also face more responsibilities and higher academic pressure. Still, high school provides many chances for personal growth. With good organization, time management, and asking for support when needed, students can move through this phase confidently. All things considered, the shift from middle to high school is an important time in a student's life. It comes with challenges and achievements, but it leads to greater independence and future success. Let's continue with the next. In this exercise, we will read a paragraph from the lesson text and carefully identify all the conjunctions and transitional devices used by the writer. These help connect ideas and improve the flow of writing. This activity helps us become better writers and more thoughtful readers by showing how writers structure their ideas clearly and smoothly. Let's move to the next part. Now let's look at an example paragraph to identify conjunctions and transitional devices in real use. Here is the paragraph. That philosophy helped shape Bezos' life before he even launched Amazon. When he was just 30 years old, Bezos had a Wall Street job at hedge fund D.E. Shaw, but he saw promise in the future of the internet and got the idea to build a bookstore online. Bezos' boss agreed the idea had potential, but he still tried to convince Bezos that it would be less of a risk to keep the job he had. Conjunctions and transitional devices found. 1. But appears twice in this paragraph to show contrast between ideas. 2 and 3. Before, used here as a subordinating conjunction to show. Let's now go over the explanation of how each conjunction and transitional device contributes to the paragraph's meaning and flow. 1. But This conjunction is used twice and both times it shows a contrast. First, it contrasts Bezos' secure Wall Street job with his belief in the potential of the internet economy. Second, it contrasts the boss agreeing with Bezos but still trying to convince him not to leave his job. But helps the reader clearly understand opposing viewpoints. 2. And this is a coordinating conjunction that connects to related actions. Bezos saw promise and got the idea to build an online bookstore. Keeps the sentence smooth and connected, showing how one thought leads to another. 3. Before. Before is a subordinating conjunction that shows time or sequence. It tells us that this philosophy shaped Bezos' life before he launched Amazon. This helps the reader understand when something happened. Let's move ahead to the next concept together. Let's now solve exercise 7, where we fill in the blanks using the right conjunctions to make the sentences meaningful and complete. Sentence 1. I wanted to go to the park, but it started raining heavily. The word but shows contrast between the desire to go out and the sudden rain. Sentence 2. She studied hard for the exam, because she was determined to succeed. Here, because shows the reason behind her hard work. Sentence 3. He is allergic to peanuts, so he always checks food labels, so explains the result of his allergy. Sentence 4. I was tired, but I stayed up late to finish my assignment. Again, but shows contrast between being tired and still working late. Sentence 5. To buy the car, but he couldn't afford it, but is used here to show a limitation or challenge. Let's keep going and explore more together. Now it's time to solve exercise 8, where we join pairs of sentences using correlative conjunctions. These are pairs like either or, neither nor, both and, not only, but also, which help us link related ideas smoothly. Let's take a look at how we can rewrite these sentence pairs into one clear and connected sentence. Here are the sentence pairs, and how they are combined. 1. The weather was cold. B. We decided to go for a hike. Combined, not only was the weather cold, but we also decided to go for a hike. 2. She forgot her umbrella. B. She got soaked in the rain. Combined, she not only forgot her umbrella, but also got soaked in the rain. 3. Missed the bus. B. She was late for her training. Combined, she both missed the bus and was late for her training. 4. They couldn't win the match. B. Few players were out of practice. Combined, they couldn't win the match either because few players were out of practice or because of bad luck. 5. She was offered a huge discount. B. Her luck. Combined, either she was offered a huge discount or her luck worked. These examples help us see how correlative conjunctions make writing smoother, clearer, and more connected. Let's move on to the next slide and keep learning. Welcome to the next part of our lesson, exercise 9, where we apply what we've learned about transitional devices by analyzing a real article or essay. This kind of analysis trains your eye to spot good writing techniques and helps you become a better writer too. Let's head to the next slide to continue our learning journey. Let's discuss the selected text, a visit to the Science Museum, and analyze its transitional devices. Here are the transitional devices identified. First, next, then, because, however, therefore. Finally, let's move ahead. Let's now take a closer look at how the transitional devices support the structure and clarity of the text, a visit to the Science Museum. How these transitional devices help, first, next, then, and finally are used to clearly show the order of events. This helps the reader move step by step through the museum visit and understand the sequence of experiences. Confusion. The word because is used to explain reasons behind actions. It connects what happens with why it happens, which gives more depth to the story. However, is a powerful tool for showing contrast or surprises, for example, when something unexpected happens or a change in tone occurs. Therefore points to a result or conclusion, helping the reader understand the outcome of previous actions or decisions. Let's now go over the main sections or paragraphs. Paragraph 1. Introduction. First, our teacher told us about the trip. This introduces the idea of the class planning the visit. The word, first, marks the beginning of the narrative. Paragraph 2. Next, we walked into the Space Science Gallery. The transition word, next, helps move forward to their arrival and first impressions. Paragraph 3. Then we took part in a fun experiment about gravity. Then, shows that this comes after the previous event, keeping the flow logical. Paragraph 4. However, one of the machines was not working. However, signals a contrast or a change from the positive experience to something unexpected. Paragraph 5. Conclusion and departure. Finally, we thanked the staff and left the museum. Finally wraps up the visit and indicates the conclusion of the event. Each helps the reader understand the structure, timing, and shifts in ideas within the passage, making the experience easy to follow and engage. Let's wrap up this exercise with a quick reflection on how the text's organization affects our understanding. Reflection: the way the text is structured made it much easier to follow the events clearly and in the correct order. Each transitional device, like first, then, however, and finally, helped guide me from one paragraph to the next without confusion. Devices didn't just show the order of events, they also explained relationships between ideas, such as cause and effect, or contrasting situations. That made the story not only clear, but also more interesting and meaningful to read. Great! That completes this part of the chapter. Stay tuned for the next slide. Now we've reached the assessment section, where we apply what we've learned about correlative conjunctions in a real-world setting, interviews. You will read a few interview scenarios. Your task is to identify the correlative conjunction used in each dialogue. Explain its function in the sentence. Let's explore how they are used in interviews to express clear and strong relationships between ideas. Let's take a closer look at how correlative conjunctions are used in interview responses. 1. Not only but also emphasizes the candidate's strengths in both innovation and teamwork, showing that these qualities go hand in hand. 2. Both and clarifies that the candidate brings experience and adaptability, a powerful combination that meets job requirement. 3. Both and shows a balanced skill set, managing stress while also thinking long-term, ideal for leadership roles. 4. Whether or reflects flexibility, being equally comfortable, working remotely or on-site. 5. Neither nor denies extremes, the candidate is neither overconfident nor unsure, showing the mature mindset. 6. Either or highlights willingness to travel internationally or work locally, supporting global or domestic needs. 7. Either or shows adaptability to work on weekends or evenings, a plus for roles that require flexible hours. These examples prove how grammar choices can powerfully shape communication. Now let's move to the exercise 10. Choose the correct correlative conjunction to complete the sentence. In this activity, you'll need to select the most appropriate correlative conjunction to complete each sentence logically and clearly. Keep practicing to master their usage in both spoken and written English. Now let's look at the answers of exercise 10. Choose the correct correlative conjunction to complete the sentence. Sentence 1. Neither John nor Adam showed up at the party. Sentence 2. Either the rain stopped or the sun came out. Sentence 3. Sarah can speak both English and Spanish. Sentence 4. I will either play video games or watch TV tonight. Sentence 5. Neither Sam nor Tom want to be the team captain. Sentence 6. If you can join us for dinner, then let us know in advance. Sentence 7. Whether we go hiking or swimming, I'll be happy. Sentence 8. Mary enjoys both reading novels and watching movies. Sentence 9. Tim will either eat pizza or have a burger dinner. Sentence 10. Neither my friend nor my brother knows the answer to that question. Let's continue. Sentence 11. She is both beautiful and intelligent. Sentence 12. Both the concert and the movie was cancelled due to bad weather. Sentence 13. The team won because the players played with determination. Not a correlative conjunction, uses because. Sentence 14. I want to either go to the beach or stay at home. Read a book. Sentence 15. Both eating fruits and drinking lots of water is essential for health. Sentence 16. She can't either play the piano or the guitar. Note, this is incorrect. Correct form, she can't play either the piano or the guitar. Sentence 17. He is not only just an actor, but also a talented singer as well. Sentence 18. I'm both running late and stuck in traffic. Sentence 19. The movie was both interesting and confusing. Sentence 20. Neither my sister nor my brother likes pizza. Sentence 21. We can either take the subway or a taxi to reach the station on time. Sentence 22. Either my parents or my teacher can attend the meeting. Sentence 23. Both Mary and John were able to solve the math problem. Sentence 24. I will either buy a new phone or get my old one repaired. Sentence 25. Is either asleep or awake. Sentence 26. Whether you like or you dislike, it's important to respect others' opinions. Sentence 27. We can either go for a walk or watch a movie at home. Sentence 28. The weather is neither too hot nor too cold today. Sentence 29. Both exercise regularly and eat a balanced diet, want to stay healthy. Sentence 30. She couldn't either swim or dance at the party. I hope you found this video helpful and easy to understand. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like the video, share it with your classmates, subscribe to my channel for more educational content. See you in the next lesson.